Well, obviously, great day to be at Paulson again. Our second full scrimmage, to be able to get about 90 plays worth of live football, even with the quarterbacks and treating it like a game. Playing those four quarters balls really, I think, prepares your team for the opening game and propelled our team. I saw a lot of guys have the opportunity to make plays, and we've got a lot of playmakers. That's the first thing that I saw offensively, the ball being distributed around to several different guys and then making plays. Defensively, I thought the first string defense did a really nice job in the first half. We had a lot of our starters out there in the first half of this game, and they flew around. I thought they played assignment sound football, physical football, and fast football. So it was a very good day for the Eagles, and looking forward now to coming back next week and starting our prep for Boise State.
Can you assess the quarterbacks one by one and what growth you're seeing and what you like today from them?
Yeah, I'll say this off the bat. The last 2 weeks have been eye-opening that you have guys that any of them can step into a game and make plays. That's what we've seen as an offensive staff and as a head coach. What I appreciate about each one of them, JC steps out there, he protects the football, he goes 7 of 11, explosive plays down the field. He's been very accurate down the field, and he continues to protect the football. David did a wonderful job today. Again, that's 2 scrimmages of being able to put the ball in the end zone, making good decisions, and both 2 kids I thought ran the ball very well. Probably the most explosive run on the day was Dex. He did have 1 turnover today, but he found ways to get the ball into the end zone. The thing that, it's been a great competition. I think that it's, at some point in time you got to make a choice, and we're going to evaluate this tape and come back next week and establish our roles as we go in to Boise State and start preparing a starter and a backup and a third string guy for that opening game. And as soon as we make that decision, I'll let everybody know.
With those guys, each one has things they do well. Each one you could point to, something that might be holding them back or going forward. With Dexter, it seems like he's got the big game experience. He hasn't not been in this offense that long. David's been here a while. He's looked really good in the last 2
You
scrimmages.
should come up here and answer the question. You're doing a great job.
And with JC,
Answer a question.
And with JC, well, what do you see as when you're looking at those guys? What's going to make you decide which one is going to be? Because David.
Well, we talked about it, Josh. I'll help you here.
Help me out.
I'll help you here. How do you make a decision on a quarterback? As we look at things like we said in our opening statement on practice 1, it's about decision making, timing, accuracy, and is the ball moving. And when you look at and we don't look at one day, we look at all the days, and making who is the best decision maker, who is getting the ball out on time, who is the most accurate with the ball, and who is moving the ball down the field. And the one thing that I'll take away, and I know you've seen being a football guy, and I think our fans and coaches are seeing, is those 3 kids can play anywhere. They can play. And that's what's different for us right now, is we're able to be, it creates a new dynamic for us to have that depth and be able to not obviously call things that involve them too. You've seen some quarterback-driven runs. It's not a huge part of us, but it's something that we can use as a threat, And so to be able to have that type of athleticism, and all 3 have that type of arm talent with, O.J. Arnold and Jalen White beside them and a host of running backs, man, you got a dangerous offense right now. And so you're not holding your breath every night. We're going to establish a number 1 quarterback going into this week. We're going to sit down tonight and tomorrow and Monday. Our next practice day, full practice day, is Tuesday. Be able to make those decisions, establish roles for everybody on the team in game 1 only, and be able to establish those roles and then go get prepared.
Last one.
Yeah.
You're playing Boise to open the season, not the Citadel. It's a pretty big team, pretty big stage. Does that have anything to do with who you're going to name as the quarterback?
I'll say it's about who's produced in camp. It's not about where you've played, or it's about how you've played, over a long period of time. and so we'll make that decision going into game one, and we'll go support that quarterback, whoever it is, as well as every other position. And one thing that I tell all the kids, it's who plays the best in the moment, who is the healthiest, who is producing. That's at all positions, and you don't make a decision for the entire season because you don't have a crystal ball, but you make a decision and you prep like heck for one moment. And that one moment is Boise State, which just happens to be, in my opinion, one of the premier Group of 5 games, if not one of the better games in the country in week 1. And that's why I think you see ESPN picked it up nationally. Everybody knows that, and what a special game it will be. And so it's not going to be about the hype. It's going to be about the prep in that moment and preparing every player, first, second, and third, to be ready for that game.
Speaking of that game, obviously you talk about the importance of it with being picked up to linear networks. How important is it to have this stadium packed out with a bunch of screaming Eagle fans?
Well, we know how special Paulson Stadium is in Statesboro, Georgia, in this community. We felt it in every game I've been here in 2 years. The passion of this place is absolutely incredible. You look at that attendance record last year, you see what it was. It's the 12th man. You have that extra facet that helps your football team. And I think it's one of the reasons you look up, and it's one of the top 5 hardest places to play in the history of college football. And it's a hard place to get to. It's a hard place to travel. It's hot as heck. There's gnats outside. Fans are screaming at you. The whole dang section is a student section. It's what college football is all about. And I'm glad I'm here, and I'm glad I get to be a part of it on August 31st.
Is there anybody that's kind of stood out, anybody that's stepped up, that maybe made a move into the ones, or maybe moved up to the two?
Well, I've seen, Josh, there's probably some guys that have gone from first-year players to now second year, and probably one of the biggest ones is DeAndre Buchanan. You saw him out here today. We've seen him. Obviously, he was a freshman All-American at a returner, but he's really stepped up his game as a receiver also. And I'm seeing him make plays. I've seen some big men all of a sudden that I think Akeba Seka and Elijah Fall are really making unbelievable plays on the defensive side of the ball. So it's really, maybe not somebody that surprised you. It's just somebody that all of a sudden's got a little bit more experience, a little bit more strength, a little bit more development, going from year 1 to year 2, and they're really starting to shine.
What kind of growth did you see out of all the guys from last week, first scrimmage, to now this week, second scrimmage?
Yeah, I think last week was eye-opening because I've always believed in those first, you have an acclimatization period where you're trying to build the body for football, in those first 7 or 8 practices. If you remember, you don't get a back-to-back practice. The last time they did it was last December. The only other time you get that is in training camp. So you build the body up, and then you have the opportunity to come out here in that first scrimmage, and they were like, whoa. It feels like 120 degrees out here. And now they've had the heat all week, and I saw a lot more energy. I saw playing faster and getting really acclimated to the heat, which we do over the last 3 weeks of training camp. And so it's been good. It's been really neat to see them adapt. We've been very fortunate with the style of practices that we have, fast and physical, but being able to protect each other. And I can't commend the strength staff enough over the summer for how they built their bodies. We have not had, really a season-ending injury, knock on wood, in 2 scrimmages.
Sitting here now, exactly 2 weeks from the first kickoff, is everything where you want it to be? Are there any areas where you're still looking for improvement or anything?
I think we're trying to improve just each and every day, and that's what I've told them, is don't look too far down the road. We're going to try to improve off this scrimmage. There were a lot of good things that happened out there, and then there were some things that we've got to get right over the next 2 weeks, and some of them weren't on the field. Some of them were young kid mistakes. As emotion goes up, intelligence goes down, and being able to control emotion and getting to the next play. And so there's a lot of lessons off this tape. This will be a great tape for us. That's why we're coming in tomorrow with them. We'll watch this tape, correct this tape. They'll have Monday off for class, and then Tuesday starts Boise.